so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real, real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. He's so real. He's real in my soul today. He has washed all of my sins away. Jesus' love just bubbles over in my soul, in my soul. We're so glad you joined us tonight. I think we're going to continue what we were talking about in the other message, because I think I kind of had these titles the same, or at least certainly this one, I talked about it in the other channel some. Isaiah 9 and 16 says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to error, and they that are led by them are destroyed." Be careful who you follow. Be careful who you listen to. Make sure that you make Jesus your choice. That's one song that I love. It says, some folks choose houses and land. Some folks choose silver and gold. These things they treasure, they forget about their souls. But I have decided to make Jesus my choice. That's what needs to be our choice tonight. We choose the Lord above all else in this world. You know, sometimes we don't want to call things what they are. Sometimes we raise up people and we have family members and people we raise up in our own household sometimes. We try to teach them and share with them the goodness of God, but sometimes people just want to go astray. They want to be lost. I was thinking about, we want our children to be saved and we try to teach them all about the Lord. But they can decide they want to go to hell. They don't want to do right. And you can't make them do right. So what my youngest daughter said, you can't make me. Ain't nobody trying to make you, but trying to teach you and encourage you. But if you want to go to hell, that's what you're going to do. You want to go astray, go. And we lose out with God, and we don't help them. You know what the father, that prodigal son, did? That son came to his dad. He said, Father, won't you give me the portion of the inheritance that's going to befall me? I want to go out and do my own thing. I want to have my own life. The father didn't argue with his son. He gave him the portion that he would have given him upon his death, or he would have had on his death. And the older son, he did likewise. He gave both of them their inheritance while he was yet living. That younger son went and took all of his inheritance and went to a far country and spent all of it on riotous living, wasted it. And there came a famine in the land, and he found himself wanting, and he was about to eat with the man's swine. He wasn't even making enough on his job to provide him a place to stay and food to eat. He was about to eat with this man's pigs. Then he came to himself and he realized, all my father's servants have it better than I do. I have sinned against my father and against heaven. He said, let me go back home to my father. He said, I'm not worthy to be his son anymore, but just let me go back there and ask my daddy for a job so that I can have food to eat and a place to stay. And when he went back home, he came to his senses, he went home. And the father saw his son afar off. And the father ran to greet his son. And when he got to his son, he fell upon his neck. And the son said, Father, I've sinned against heaven, against earth. I'm not worthy to be your son anymore. But the father wasn't listening to all that. The father said to the servant, he said, go get a robe and put it on him. Get a ring and put on his fingers. Put sandals on him. And go kill the fatted calf. It's time we make merry. This son humbled himself and returned to his father and asked his father to have mercy on him, just to let him be a servant in his house. But the father received him as a son, not as a servant. He opened his heart to the son. And the older son was out in the field working. And when he heard all the commotion, he came to the house, but he didn't come in the house. He said, what is all this noise? And they told him, he said, your brother, he has come home. And the father said, kill the fatted calf. And he wouldn't come into the house to greet his brother. So the father, when he knew his son was out there, he went out to him. He said, why are you doing this for this rebel who's spent all your living and wasted it on riotous living, whorish women? And he said, you never gave me a fatted calf. The father said to him, well, while you was with me, you always could have had a fatted calf. You could have had a party for your friends anytime you wanted to. He said, your brother was lost. Now he's found. He was dead and now he's alive again. He says, it's right that we should celebrate and have a party and make merry. Only one son was lost, but he came to his senses and he returned to his father. The other son was there. And the father said to him, you was always with me. You always had everything at your disposal. Don't be envious of your brother because he had to lose his mind to come to his senses. You had your mind, but you didn't understand that everything I have is already yours. God wants us to have his goodness and his mercy and his love, but we need to learn how to be obedient, surrender to his will. And then we can have all the goodness of the Lord all the time. Too many times we just want to walk contrary. We talked about Isaiah 9:16. He said, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led by them are destroyed. Make sure that you follow the Lord instead of following people. So many times people, they're good at using words. Well, what did the serpent do to Eve? He told the woman, you can know more than you know. God's been holding out on you. If you just eat this fruit, you can become like God. And so she ate the fruit, and she convinced her husband to eat as well. And they fell from the grace of God, brought sin, sickness and disease, and all these other things into the world. The knowledge of good and evil. When all you needed to know was God loves you, and God has provided you with everything you need. You don't have to look and seek for anything else. When you got Jesus, let him be enough. When you got the Lord in God in your life, let him be enough. He's more than enough. But when you go start seeking after other things, you'll find something you didn't want. You'll get tangled up in something you can't get out of. I know I've been there, done that. And I wouldn't advise it to anybody. Don't play with God. God is not to be trifled with. God bless you there. Hey to you as well. Pernicia Restaurante. That's quite a name. Is that a business or that part of your name? Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for each of you joining us tonight. We're going to do a little short one here tonight. We're not going to be on here probably about another 20 minutes or so. What I've said I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to be working in the house, doing some things, and I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow afternoon around 1:30, 2 o'clock or something like that for about 2 or 3 hours as I'm working in the house and doing things to be ministering to the Lord, singing some songs and praises unto God. I'm going to be working in what we call the upper room. This house, I probably won't be working outside much tomorrow. Probably be working inside tomorrow pretty much because I want to get started on something. I'm going to call the outside section where I'm working and going to call it a prayer garden. It's going to have some roses and some vegetables and fruits and other stuff in it as well, but it's going to be dedicated as a prayer garden. I'm going to work and get that fixed out and make it into a nice prayer garden. But what I thought about, this is a one-story house, but it has a real steep roof, so it's a lot of attic space. I'm going to convert the attic space into 2 small rooms. And one of them, I'm going to call it my prayer room. The other one may be like a library or something, but one of them is going to be dedicated to prayer. So that's what I'm going to be working on tomorrow and showing you how I'm going to start it with it. It's just to the bare walls right now. I may put some insulation in the wall, show you how I'm starting to do some of it. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a little different for a while. I thought about it. I don't think I'm going to do it. I thought about it, even making a balcony out of that room. It has a vent for the outside. I'm thinking about just putting a window there. I thought about putting a door in there. I check on seeing how much a door would cost. But to build a balcony, it probably would wind up costing me, if I put a door in there and a balcony, probably wind up costing me about $500 or $600 to do that. So I don't know if I'm going to have the money or want to do that, the patience to do it. Well, one thing is, but I got the guys that's going to do some painting for me. I may describe to him what I'm thinking about doing. If he's willing to help me do it, I may do it. Depending on if he helped me, if he will do it. Because he's a roofer, so he can fix the roof and flooring up. But I may do that. I'll have to check into it. It's not a definite thing I'm committed to right now, but I'm definitely committed to making the prayer room upstairs. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to try to get that room pretty much straightened out. I may actually have it finished because now that I got the roof done, one of the reasons I was reluctant to start on doing the prayer room, in case there was a leak or anything, I didn't want to start fixing walls, doing certain things until I made sure the roof was right. Now that I know I won't have any leaks or anything, I can fix and do things nice and don't have to worry about any damage coming to it. So I'm going to get started working on that tomorrow. I've got to finish working on doing some stairs, and my brother was kind of helping me. So I hadn't quite exactly figured out which way I want to turn the stairs or get it to go up. I got the first level done to the platform going up there, but I don't know if I'm going to continue the platform or just go over the top of it all the way straight up. I got to figure that out tomorrow, probably. Once I figure out the stair part, then sometimes you hit a little snag when you're doing stuff and you can't figure out which part to do to get it straightened out. That's kind of where I am. It's a little snag. But once you get past the little snag, then all of a sudden, bam, everything is going to fall in place and get to really moving fast. Just like Took me forever, seemed like, to get the roof done. But finally, I got my money straight and finally got the right people to come in here. And I wasn't sure. People just ran me through all kind of changes on getting that roof done. And the guy who whined, he called himself a general contractor. He was no general contractor. I was a general contractor, and I wasn't trying to be. He get paid for as a general contractor, ain't doing the work as a general contractor. Didn't even give me an estimate on the right estimate to do the house. And I told him, I'm not paying that, what he wanted me to pay him. So we negotiated it down, and he did get the people to come who did the work. And he actually got some really good people to come and do the roof, and they did it in one day. But I didn't know when they were going to come. They came. He said they might come on Sunday. But the thing is, see, he calls himself a general contractor. Really, these people do roofing for real contractors. They do work, big house. He talking about they work on $200,000 house. That don't mean they not the general contractor on it, and he has nothing to do with it. He knows people who work for people who have businesses. These guys work for some of maybe the best contractors doing roof work for them. That's all they do, and they get paid a pretty decent wage. But because they're Mexican, I'm sure these rich white folks take advantage of them, just like this black guy was taking advantage of them as well. I don't know what I was. I didn't like the job because he was supposed to be doing it. He wasn't doing the job. And then he gonna tell me like, I got more than I paid for. I got what I asked for, but I overpaid. I paid more than I should have because I got frustrated. I just wanted to get the roof fixed. And I paid him at least $500 more than I should have, maybe $1,000, because he was acting as a middleman and wasn't doing any other work hardly. After he cussed me out and acted all crazy, he told me, he supposed to came and picked up his money. He cussed me out and talked all crazy to me. I got a new roof on my house, and I paid for the materials, but I had a new roof on my house, and this guy acted a fool and cursed me out. I told him, get off my property. I ain't going nowhere to get him. Yeah, you done cursed me out and act a fool, and you talking about you ain't going nowhere. I wasn't going to give it to him that day, so he wasn't know what time to come, but he came. He supposed to came at 10 o'clock this morning. About 10:30 outside, I was going to Lowe's and go get some material to do the other thing. I had some other things too. I don't be waiting around on him all day. That's what a lot of time I was doing when I was trying to get the other guy to work on the roof. I wasted 3 weeks of my time. He was going to come. He's going to come and didn't do this. Gave me an estimate at one amount. And then when it was all said and done, he increased the price of it $2,000 nearly. So I didn't do nothing with him, but he done wasted my time. I was exhausted from dealing with people lying to me and deceiving me, wasting up my time. Was disgusted. So I just wanted to get the roof fixed, and they got it done. But he's gonna tell me I'm crazy and I'm a fool, and I'm thinking, you the one that's crazy and you the one's a fool because you cursing at me and talking crazy to me, and I haven't paid you, and I got a new roof on my house. And if I didn't pay him, that would have sure put him in a jam. I could have waited a week to pay him. Made him threaten to sue or something. I could have jammed him up with them people. They done come and worked on a Sunday, done put a new roof on my house. I wouldn't treat them that way. I wouldn't treat anybody that way. I didn't even treat him that way, although he was a fool. I didn't treat him that way. When he came, he's supposed to have been here at 10 o'clock. He didn't show up until about 11:08 and called me and told me, asked me where I was or how he was looking for me. I told him the money's on the front doorstep under a brick. The check was. But that's how stupid he was. You're going to curse me out and then show up an hour late. And then he called me about 45 minutes after he got the money, I guess. Might have went to lunch or something. He called me and asked me if I wanted, he could clean up the stuff that they left. He had his trailer. He cleaned up the stuff he left if I wanted him to or something, no charge. I said, do whatever you want to do. It don't matter to me. I got back home. He ain't done nothing. He ain't been here. He probably wasn't going to do anything anyway. He's just a liar. He wanted me to probably make me think he's going to do something, and psych. I said, do whatever you want to do. Talking about it's just a part of the job. Yeah, it was a part of the job. He's supposed to clean up afterwards. It's supposed to have been cleaned up, or they should have. But it don't matter. He talking about he wouldn't have cleaned it up for $500, but he's gonna do it for me. He's gonna tell me a lie that the dumping of the stuff would cost $300 or $400 to dump it at the city dump. I went online and checked. They charge $40 a pickup load. It's about 1 or 2 pickup loads. So if it had loaded up, it would have cost him $80, 2 trips. That would have did it. Probably could have did most of it in 1 trip. But anyway, I get tired of people just lying. That it wears me out when people start lying, because don't waste my time with lies. Just like I know when I saw how I knew that it could be done in 1 day, because I put a roof on the house in about 3-4 days myself when I was 10 years younger. It wasn't much bigger than my roof. It wasn't as steep. That's why I didn't do this one. The other one was more like sort of flat almost. So I could do that without any stress too much. But it took me about 3 days, and I did it in about 3 days, half hour, about 7-8 hours a day in 100-degree weather. So I know how to do work, but I wouldn't want to do this. But I did have to get up there on top of the roof, on that steep roof, and cut the limbs off the house. And I looked out there this afternoon. After I cut them, I guess maybe was cutting and doing something. One of those limbs broke off. It was about a 4-foot piece, broke off and fell on the roof. We up there working on the roof doing that stuff. If I had to fix that, cut off all those other limbs, some more of those limbs may have fallen and broken off on it. And that would have been a tragedy. I done fixed the roof, spent thousands of dollars fixing the roof. Then if some limbs have fallen off and broke it or something, that would have been horrible. The reason the guy was claiming, he called himself a general contractor, they won't cut the limbs up. They don't want to be responsible. I said, they got to be cut. If they can cut them, only take about 15 minutes. He going to just argue with me down. I said, well, I'll cut them myself. And I got up there and I cut them. But before I did that, he came by and he said, you don't need to be taking yourself up there. Go on, tell me what to do. I said, I'm going to cut those limbs. If you can't get them to cut, I'm going to do it myself. So he came back by a little later. He said, well, they can cut them, but it'll cost $125. You have to help me pay this. I said, I'm not paying money for nothing. I will cut them myself. He left and I got up on the roof and I cut them. And he called about an hour later. He said, well, I'm going to let you know. I'll pay them to do that. You just don't get up on that roof. You don't need to be getting up on that. He said he would pay them. I said, I already cut the limbs. I done did it. And then he going to tell me about it. He going to say that, how did he say it? We got it done. No, we didn't get it done. You didn't do nothing. You talked crazy to me. You tried to discourage me. You hindered me, telling me I couldn't do it. And he say, we got it done. Yep, I got up on the roof. I ain't scared of no work. I was built for this. With the help of the Lord, I can do all things. So I got up there. I was a little concerned because I didn't stand up on that steep part of the roof. I crawled up on there. And then when I got to the top of this, about 6 by 12 pitches, real steep, kind of steep, I crawled up and I straddled the roof. And I had this 16-foot pole saw. And I sawed the limbs off. And of course, when you're sawing stuff off like that, you know what the limbs try to do? They try to come back and kiss you in the face. But I made sure that they didn't hit me. I made sure I was sawing them so they kept them off of me. Now, Saturday, when I was cutting a big limb off of this tree in the front yard, I cut a big limb off. And I knew it might try to come back on me because last year when I was cutting a limb off, I cut the limb off and everything. The limb, it was already hanging out toward the front of the yard. And so it should have went straight out into the yard. But as it started to break and come loose, guess what it did? It came right back and it hit me in the mouth across the nose. I almost thought it broke my teeth. It hit me in the nose. It hurt. Almost knocked me off my ladder. I didn't expect that because all the weight was pointing down. But it did go down, but it also kicked backwards and hit me in the face. I thought, well, so I learned from that. I was kind of cautious this time. And so when I was cutting that big lamb Saturday, as I was cutting the big lamb, I knew it's supposed to fall in the front of the yard, but from that experience I had before, I knew it possibly could come back at me. I was up on a 6-foot step ladder. I was up on the top step about 4 feet high up on the ladder. But as I was getting close to cutting it down, I stepped down to the last step. And as I was cutting the last few little pieces of it, all of a sudden, that limb broke off. And just like the other one did, sort of, that limb came all the way back to me. Instead of falling out in the yard, it came all the way back on top of me. It fell on my shoulder. I caught it. And it knocked me off the last step of my ladder counter. I didn't fall down or hurt myself or anything. It knocked me off the ladder. And my ladder was up underneath the tree limb. I was fine. Because, like I said, it was on my shoulder. So when I dropped it, it was on the ground, but on top of my ladder. And I was fine. But I knew it was going to happen. So I was ready for that. I can get a lot done. But so I was glad. And let me tell you what was interesting about that. I wanted those limbs cut off so they didn't hit the house and everything. Some guy was doing some tree trimming. And so I asked him about looking at mine. He gave me an estimate to cut the limbs off the tree that was near the house. He gave me an estimate of $3,000. I didn't have no $3,000 to give that man. I wasn't even thinking about that kind of money. I might have been willing to pay $500, maybe even $1,000 to get the limbs off. But still, that was a lot of money. And I had enough money. I could have did it if I could have got somebody to do it for $1,000. But somehow the other day, the Lord just let me think about it. I probably could cut some of them limbs with a pole saw if I got a 16-foot pole saw. So on Saturday, what I did, went into Lowe's and bought a pole saw. Spent $103 for this pole saw. But they was leaking. The pole saw had water in the head of them. When I got to the house, well, this had water leaking in too, but I used the saw. Well, it's supposed to have a little lever where you could actually pull this rope, and that was supposed to saw for you by you pulling on that rope. You just lay the blade up there and hook it to the saw, and you pull the rope, and it's supposed to be sawing when you pull on the rope back and forth. It ratchets it, and it wasn't working. Well, I didn't know, but I know how the saw hooks onto the limb. I just used it like a handsaw. I just moved it back and forth and cut the limbs off. Well, when I got the guys up there yesterday, it was 1 or 2 limbs I couldn't reach, and I asked the guy if he could cut one off. He took my pole saw and he was trying to cut it. He said it don't work. Well, I thought, yeah, it works. You have to use it like a handsaw. It's manual. No, it was supposed to be able to pull that rope, and it was supposed to saw. And that's what I realized afterwards. So he was trying to do it right, and they did get the limb off that I wanted to get off. So, okay. Guess what I did today? Since I knew that it wasn't working like it should have, I done cut all the limbs I wanted to cut off. It didn't have a power button. It had a rope. This was a manual one, but it did have a rope, and it had a little chainsaw. It sort of worked like a chainsaw that moved the blade back and forth. You're supposed to pull the rope, and it would saw back and forth what it's supposed to do, ratchet you back and forth. It's sort of like a ratchet wrench or something. It was a manual saw, but you pull the rope is how it make the blade move. But that didn't work. So you know what I did today after I did all that? I took the saw back to Lowe's. I done cut all the limbs I wanted to cut off the trees anyway. I took it back and got my $103 back. So I got all the limbs I wanted cut, and all it cost me was my time. Because the saw wasn't working right, so I took it back. I told him it's defective, and it was, but it did what I needed to do. So I got what I needed for free, and I thank God for that because after that I was able to. I was gonna get the lumber. I have to go back to get the lumber that I need tomorrow. I get the lumber for free now. I get the lumber. I spent that $103 to get the lumber I need at Lowe's. I need to get some more 1x4s and some more 1x6s so I can get those tomorrow, and it'll be like about $100. So that'll be good. But while I was there I went there to get the lumber. I hadn't put the lumber on the pallet to take it out. I went to go get some nails, and while I went to get some nails, I saw this refrigerator there for $299. It was a $700 refrigerator for $299. So you know what I did? I bought the refrigerator and loaded it up, brought it home, and left the lumber there. I'll go get it another day. So that's just how good God can be to you sometimes. So I got a good refrigerator out of the deal, so that works. It'll take me, it's not that many. I think I showed you, it's about a half a pick load. I probably get them picked up tomorrow, the next day. The guy was saying he claimed he'd do it for free, claimed he had his trailer out there if I wanted to. So I said, do whatever I said, it's up to you. Do whatever you want to do. It don't matter to me. I can do it myself. See, I don't like to pay people and have to beg them to work. If I got to beg you to do something and I'm going to pay you, I'd rather not pay you and just let you go on about your business and I'll do it by myself. Some people, they just too much aggravation. But he told me I was hard to work with. I'm hard to deal with. No, I'm not. Matter of fact, one of the guys who was doing the roofing for me, he did a lot of the trim work and repairs and stuff. And so what he did, after they done finished work, you know what he did? He came and sought me out. And he said, it was good to know, you get to meet you, Pappy. They call people like that, just respect, I guess. Oh, they call me Pappy or something. He came to shake my hand and seek me out. He enjoyed getting to meet me and know me. I'm not hard to get along with. I'm real easy to get along with. But what is hard to get along with, when you start lying to me. When you start lying to me and praising yourself and acting like you more than what you are, I don't have time and patience for that. When you're going to praise yourself and exalt yourself and belittle me. As a matter of fact, the guy, when he called himself the contractor, he saw I done cut all them limbs and stuff. He said, did you do this? Yeah, you probably got it. He know full well I did it. But he going to belittle me and act like I can't do nothing, like I can't do work. Everything I do, he try to belittle it. And he the one does a sorry job. I paid him to 3 years ago, I paid him to prime my house. He used the wrong kind of paint. He didn't tell me he needed oil-based paint. He used latex paint, and it didn't hold good. He didn't finish it all. He wanted some extra money around Christmas time. Well, I was out of town. I wanted him to wait till I got back so I could pay him to finish it. So he wanted some money. He needed some money for Christmas. So I gave him about $400 or $500, paid him for the finished priming the house. I had some paint for him, but he ran out of paint. So he got about half of the painting that he supposed got done, but he had about $400 or $500 that he never did the work for. Now, I was going to get him to finish up after we was doing this roofing. He got guys to do the roof for me, but I didn't have much confidence in him. I knew he couldn't do no roofing work or nothing like that. Yeah, I cut him a lot of slack. I paid him even after he acted a fool. I gave him money. Matter of fact, he told me he would have paid the $125 for cutting the limbs. I cut the limbs, and he didn't cut them. He said he's gonna pay me. He'd pay me. I cut the limbs, so he should have took $125 off that. He didn't estimate the shingles. So we had 2 bundles of shingles left, and it was about $50 worth.
He wanted to know if I would sell them to him for a discount. I said, I'll sell them to you for $50. That's what I paid for. He talking about like I wouldn't give him no discount. Why should I give you a discount when you didn't estimate them? If you'd estimated them correctly, I would have bought the shingles I needed. We needed those 2 bundles, but those were architect shingles. We didn't need architect shingles. I had to go to Lowe's and buy regular shingles. He told me he could sell me some he had for $25, but he was trying to get over on me, and they was black. They wouldn't have matched the type of roof that I had. I went to Lowe's and I had to buy regular shingles to cap the roof, and that's what they cost me, $40-something. We could have bought them in Little Rock when we was there the few days earlier. It could have got them for under $20. But he want me to sell him those architect shingles at a discount, and he didn't estimate the stuff right. He didn't give me no estimate about the materials. I bought the materials based on another guy's estimate who was going to do the roof. He told me how many squares I needed. He estimated 13 squares for the top part and 5 squares of flat roofing. So I knew how much roofing because of what the other guy had given me. But 1 square, or 2/3 of a square, needed to have been regular shingles for the cap and the roof. And he didn't specify that, but he would have known what to do, and he would have had no problem getting it done. But I didn't know that, and this other guy didn't know. He didn't have any idea how much his shingles would take because he don't know what he's doing. But he acts like he know what he's doing, just telling me just ridiculous things. Like when they took off the shingles off the roof. Of course, when you take the shingles off, some of the nails may pop up, or you may see nails that were working their way up because of the heat and stuff, drawing them up out of the roof. Well, that guy was tapping them down, which is normal. He's talking about like you have to knock all the nails down. Like he's trying to explain to me like I don't know how you do stuff. I know that I've done fixed the roof and repaired it myself. I done put a roof on before. I know how to do that. The things he's talking about, I've been knowing, good Lord, I've been knowing probably 55 years or more. Since I was about 14, 15 years old or something. I've been knowing a long time how to do stuff. When I was a little kid, we used to build benches and stuff outside. We used to want to climb. We had a big old shade tree. We were too little. We couldn't climb the tree because it didn't have no lower limbs on it. You know what we did? We took us some 2x4s or pieces of 2x4s and stuff. We drove nails into the tree, nailed us some steps up on the tree, and climbed up in the tree. About 6 to 8 feet, about 8 to 10 feet up in the tree. We climbed up in the tree. We done built us steps to climb up into the tree. So I know how to do stuff. I figure stuff out. Just like I'm going to probably do something with this painting board. I think I'm going to hot glue these words onto that, and I'll probably paint them. I may paint the background or something. I may paint a mountain or something on it and put them on there. Maybe make some snow or something on it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just depends. The Lord may inspire me to do something special. But anyway, I'm trying to fix it so I have a nice wall mounting out of it when I get through with it. That's what I'm going to try to do. I've never seen anything like it, so it'll be definitely an original. Sometimes you'll see something in somebody's house or someplace, well, that's really cute. No. Nope. Me and the puppy's gonna have a barbecue, maybe. No, that guy. You know what I did, John? I done deleted his number and blocked him. And like I say, he was gonna try to act like, no, we ain't friends. He gonna ask me how you doing or something. No, you cussed me out. We ain't talking no more. That's why this message is subject. This message is, I may love you, but I don't trust you. Some people you could love them. My mother used to say it like this: some folks you got to feed them with a long handled spoon. So when people act a certain way, you have to believe who they are and just move on from them. You don't hate on them. You don't treat them bad. You just move on. But he wanted me to act like I needed him to do it. And I just told him, do whatever you want to do. He talking about, well, he just do business. That's a part of the job. Yeah, it was a part of the job he's supposed to clean up, but he didn't. He claimed he's going to do it and didn't. He think I'm probably going to call him and argue with him because he wants to engage in conversation with me. I don't have no conversation for the devil. So I just move on. The Lord give me strength. One thing he did, he may not have been really trying to do it but so much, but he got me some good people to build and get my roof on there. And the roof really looks nice. Like I say, one limb fell on the house today. I didn't see it earlier, and then when all of a sudden it was up there at night, so I went got up my ladder and pulled it and got it off the roof. But the roof really looks nice. And they did all the work around there. He was probably surprised that I got him. See, he wasn't around. He was probably hoping they didn't do all the trim work around and fix everything underneath the roof. Matter of fact, the guy told me when I told him it's supposed to have some 1x4s on the side and a 1x2 underneath it, he said, that'd be extra money. That'd be more money. He didn't mention that. I said, well, I know he didn't communicate. I said, but it's supposed to be, I let it go. I thought the guy wasn't going to do it, but he went on and did it. But this guy who called himself the contractor, he probably figured they wouldn't do it unless I paid him more money or that they wouldn't do it. So he's going to probably try to get more money out of me. Matter of fact, that's what he said. I got more than I paid for. So he was trying to say, well, he's going to take care of them, but he said he know I would take care of him. He wanted me to give him some bonus, some extra money. I had to pay extra $80 for shingles that I didn't need. Then he wanted me to sell him the ones I had at a discount. Why would I do that? He's crazy. You know what he wanted me to do? He's going to talk so crazy to me, insulting me. He told me would I sell in my house for $8,000. I done put thousands of dollars worth of work into the house before that. I paid $3,500 for the house with taxes and all included. I done spent several thousands of dollars of work on the house, and I'm paying $5,000 for the roof, and he gonna ask me about selling the house to him for $8,000. I said, you crazy or something? You put a 4 in front of it, we might could talk. For $48,000, you getting in the ballpark of what maybe we consider. But no, I did the wiring on the house. I done insulated the house, done a whole lot of work on this house. And plus, now I got the backyard cleaned off and everything. Got working on my prayer garden. And I forgot about it. The upper rooms, the upstairs part that I'm creating, I'm going to create what I call the upper room up there, prayer room. Also, crazy. That's all disrespectful. That's what I'm saying. You treat me like you think I'm crazy. And then you're going to tell me I'm crazy, I'm a fool. I would be a fool if I kept dealing with him. But the scriptures say, in your patience possess ye your soul. He was acting a fool. I told him, I said, you lost the job one time because you was getting on my nerves. Then you lost it again. If them people when they showed up Sunday morning, they showed up at 7 o'clock, and he said he was going to show up after church. He showed up about 10 o'clock, and they had started putting the shingles on. They was messing up, and I told them about it because they done miscalculated where they should be going. And when I called it to his attention, he straightened it out, but he done messed up about 4 or 5 pieces. Of course, he could probably reuse them, but he done nailed them down in the wrong place. And I called it early, so he straightened it out. Otherwise, if I hadn't called it early, he might have messed up the whole front side there. A whole lot of shingles, a whole lot of work need to be straightened out. So I got that straightened out. But yeah, he's just trying to get more money out of me. And I know he was mistreating them people. What I know, because the guy who did the shingles, this was the man's son, who he is a general roofing contractor. His son was the one who nailed the shingles on the house, and he had a helper. He put all the shingles on the top part of the house, and another guy did the flat part of the house, and then he did all the trim work all around the house. So one guy did the shingles, and I'm just knowing that this man's son, he ain't hardly paying his son $500 a day. And the helper would have probably gotten maybe like $150 to $200 because he wasn't really doing no work much. He just helping. Helpers don't make that much. So if he paid the helper $200, if he paid his son $500, that's $700. And if he paid the other guy $400, who did the flat part, that would have only come to about $1,100 or $1,200. So out of the $3,000, that would have left $1,800. Now there was another guy who was like supposed to be their contract over them, I guess. Now maybe he's gonna get the money. So if he get $800, he didn't do no work. All he did was showed up 2 days, and they showed up to do the work, claimed they was his guys or something. So they the one showed up. So if he got $800, and the guy who claimed he's a general contractor got $1,000, the workers get maybe $1,200. I know what's going on. Like he said, well, what is that to you? I'm paying for all this. I know what's going on. If you didn't do any other work, and then one of the little guys who was working there with him, he asked me, did I want him to haul the stuff off? Well, he was talking about, I guess, all the limbs and everything in the yard. I'm going to use a limb for compost, so I'm not trying to get rid of those. But he was talking about taking everything off for $500 on his trailer. Clean. He would probably clean the yard up, and it would have been really spick and span for $500. Well, I didn't want him to take everything off. I probably could have got him to negotiate him down to $150, $200. He probably would have took it off. But anyway, what was the shingles that came off the roof? That's supposed to have been a part of the job. He's supposed to take the shingles off the ones that came off the roof in the first place and dispose of them. But then he gonna say today, like he could do that, and he would had his trailer, he would do it for no charge. That's a part of something. It was supposed to have been a part of the job in the first place. I knew that, but he didn't want to do it. He just want to try to get more money out of me. And he was counting my pockets. That's what it really is. Don't count another man's money like you think I got money or you think whatever. I despise when people trying to count my money and tell me how to spend my money. Because once I spend my money, it's gone. If you didn't do the job, just like when he wanted some money for Christmas. Well, it was a couple of days before Christmas. I was going to be out of town and I wasn't going to be back for a while. So he really needed some money for Christmas. So I went ahead and paid him for the rest of the money to finish the priming the house. He had about 5 gallons of paint, or 5 or 7 gallons of paint. He used that up, and then he didn't buy no more paint. He took that $400 or $500 and just parted and did whatever he wanted to do, and didn't finish the paint job, prime it. So it never was primed. So it was about $400 or $500 worth of work he did. He didn't do. I had to buy extra $80 worth of stuff that it wasn't supposed to have to buy. And then he wanted me to sell him the shingles back at a discount. People are weird. Let's go through the scripture. We talked about Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of the people cause of error, and they that led by them are destroyed. A lot of time people are worshiping these pastors. These guys wasn't hard. These guys was really good to work with. That's like I say, I'm planning on getting a guy to check on. I'm gonna call him tomorrow and see if I can get him to do the paint. They were good people to work with, easy to get along with. Didn't talking a lot of foolishness. And they would check with me, everything good, everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. I'm real easy to get along with. I don't stress people. Cause I know when people are caring about what they do and they try to do a good job. Some people want to act like they doing a good job, but they ain't doing a good job. Don't know how to do a good job. Like I said, the guy was trying to use my reciprocal saw to cut the limbs up. I told him I'd get to him later. Well, I'll do it. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. It was costing me because I was watching him try to do it. He didn't know what he's doing. It was working me. It was aggravating me. If it wear you out watching somebody try to do something, don't know what they're doing, and just messing up. It just makes you nervous sometimes. And like I used to go to Taco Bell sometimes, and the workers were so sorry in this place. Till when I'm watching them fix my food or knowing they fixing my food, I know they're gonna mess it up. I get nervous. I'd be too afraid to eat the food almost. So I had to quit going there for a while because I thought these people, just every time they order something, they mess it up. So when they gonna mess up your orders, you just don't go there. McDonald's used to be really known for their quality of food. When I was in school, I worked at Wendy's for a little while. They was really known for quality of their food. They just don't care about quality anymore. They got these little places they cook the food and put it up on these little racks. Food be sitting there getting all stale and just messed up. They don't care about nothing. There's no quality control in these places anymore. You subject to get anything when you ordering food out now. So I like cooking and eating at home now, pretty much. I actually prefer it. So we talked about Isaiah 9 and 16, and we're going to go to Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, the 4th verse there. Jeremiah, like I say, that's where this wilderness come from. He said, oh, that my head were waters and my eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain daughters of my people. He said, oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place, a wayfaring man, that I might leave my people and go from them. For they are all adulterers and assemblies of treacherous men. After my wife had died, I was all alone. My children seemed like they didn't have much interest in whether I lived or died. So I was just kind of out there on my own. I saw this place and I bought it. It was all growed up. It was the worst house about you could find. But I also saw that it had some good bones, as they say. You could strip it down and you could make something out of it. So I bought it and I referred to it as my wilderness project. When they first started to buy the house, wanted to buy the house, they wanted like $20-something thousand for it. I didn't have the money to do it right then. And I was just waiting. And I was supposed to have gotten a lawsuit settled, and that didn't happen. And so it dropped to 15,000, then 12,000, then 10,000, then 5,000. And finally, when I got to the house, I paid $2,500 for the house and the land. And it cost me about $900 to pay the back taxes on it or something. So I got it for about $3,500. But it needed everything. It had to be stripped to the bones and redone. And so that's why part of you see that some of it is not right. Some of it, the guy was supposed to paint it the exterior and primed it. He didn't do that right. But it is solid now. It's solid. And so I'm going to go buy those boards and stuff, and I can dress it up with 1x4s and everything and fix it where it's all tight together. Then I can, and not leaking in the roof anywhere, worry about any water getting on anything. I can actually fix the interior walls with sheetrock and everything now. So I can tighten up the outside and get it ready for priming or painting. And I'm going to check with this guy and see how much he's going to charge me for painting, because if he can do that painting on the outside, see, then that'll let me work on the inside. So if I can get it done at a reasonable price and him working on the outside, then I'll do the work on the inside. But he also says he can do work on the inside, so he does it all. So after I get him to do that, if I need some help on the inside, I may let him help me on the inside or do something on the inside. But the main thing is I want to get it all straightened out. I think I've been doing all this out of pocket. So what you see is stuff is already paid for. The house is paid for. I don't owe any money on anything. I may go to the bank and see about getting a little small loan so I can finish up everything inside and outside, furniture and everything. I may check on that tomorrow. But if it don't work, I'll still get it done. It just take me a little longer. But if I can get it all done at one time, I may just go and get it all done. And now one of the things I was really concerned about, because I knew I couldn't get the house insured without a good solid roof on it. They wouldn't want to insure a house that, the roof don't work, because everything else in the house is at risk if the roof is at risk. But now that I got a brand new roof on the house, I can go talk to the insurance companies about getting insurance on the house. Now, that's one of the things I was concerned about, not having any insurance on the house. If it burned down or anything happened to it, I would have been out of all my money. I'd have still had the land to sit on, but now I can get insurance to cover it because I got a good roof on it. So that's the next order of business, to make sure I got this place insured. That's what my brother was talking about. I was telling him about I cut the limbs off. And he was telling me about the pastor of his church, the bishop, that he had a parsonage house, and he wanted to get somebody to cut the limb for him, and he talked to this guy, black guy, about doing it. The black guy didn't want to do it, or something. He was procrastinating about doing it. And he said this white guy really wanted to do it, was hounding him about doing it. He didn't get the white guy to do it. They had a storm, I guess, a week or so ago. And sure enough, the tree fell on the parsonage house and it destroyed the house. I don't know if they had insurance on the house or not, but anyway, because they didn't go on and get it done by the right people, tree fell on it. Yeah, it can be a racket. But you can actually sort of self-insure yourself against a lot of things. And maybe that's what I might ought to do. But if a fire or something happens, that's the thing. If a fire or something happened, or if a tornado or something hit it, it wipes you out. So you kind of need some kind of insurance. So I'm gonna have to see what I get done. But I'm gonna check on it. They always try to oversell you. The thing is, you want to get enough to cover the structural part of your house. You don't worry about a lot of the content. Some things you don't worry about, but some things you have to try to get covered. I'm gonna see what it can do. I need a certain basic. I need enough to cover what I spent on the house, or where I don't have to just be totally at a loss. But anyway, we thank God for y'all being with us tonight. I done put in a little time here, so I'm gonna get off here in a minute. I might be able to get on later on tonight, do one on the 258 channel. I don't know. What's kind of surprising to me about this is I started this channel before I did the 258 channel, and it was running behind quite a bit. But in the past couple of days, the 258 channel is running ahead of this one now by quite a bit. And I wasn't trying to do that, but it just happened that way. But anyway, we won't keep on giving God the glory no matter what we do. My TV7, God bless you tonight as well. So we're going to sign out here in about 5 minutes or so. I thank God for you joining us tonight, and we're going to continue to pray for all of you. And as I say, tomorrow I'm going to get this straightened out where you'll be able to see live where I'm making progress, and also I'll be able to share with you the blessings of the Lord and the word of the Lord while I'm working. Because a lot of times, man, I wish I had recorded a lot of the things the Lord be showing me and telling me as I'm working. Sometime when I get ready to lay down at night, the Lord will be speaking to me, showing me and telling me things, and I don't have it recorded. And when I wake up in the morning, sometime my mind is someplace else. I done forgot about it. I done absorbed it and I understood it well. But I'm the only one who knows what the Lord told me or showed me because I didn't record it. So I'm gonna start recording things, and sometimes I'll just maybe let it play in the background. I was doing that on earlier tonight. It's a song about I started to sing, and I'll probably just play some of those things. The Lord, sometimes the Lord just give me a little praise and something to go. Like I did that song. I'll sing a little of that tonight. Shallow waters will run dry. That's something I wrote. Oh, close to 49 years ago, I guess. Shallow waters will run dry. Shallow waters will run dry. Will run dry. Will run dry. If you don't see the need to be born again, then I have news for you. Shallow waters will run dry. Will run dry. Will run dry. Shallow waters will run dry. Will run dry. Will run dry. If you don't see the need to be born again, then I have news for you. Shallow waters, shallow waters, shallow waters will run dry. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Shallow waters will run dry.